Way back in Monster Hunter World, I had a dream. A dream to be truly immortal! To stand there, truly AFK, against the mightiest of beasts nature could conjure, and watch as they exhausted themselves, descending into hopelessness as they realized it was impossible to kill me. And that dream evolved over the 5th gen, until even Sunbreak's last and mightiest challenge could do nothing but flail as I simply stood there for over 10 minutes. Now, Wilds. I bring you Monster Hunter Wilds Immortality. The ability to ignore any monster's attack, take such tiny damage that it can only be described as pathetic, never need to heal, and just endlessly attack till your heart's content. It is my pride and joy to bring you this, the latest and greatest version of the Immortal build. And as you can see, Tempered Arkveld is doing a very good job at demonstrating just how hilarious it is this time around, instantly at the start of a new low high rank game, where normally doing this is quite tough because we don't have lots of skills or indeed armor space to work with, so it becomes a delicate balance. Whereas here, this is nearly 5 minutes sped up of Tempered Arkveld unable to kill me while I am literally AFK, and it brings me such joy. Seriously, this is his joint-like most powerful attack. But fear not, this is not some silly gimmick for just standing there with your controller down, watching a monster get really sick of your shit. No, this is for some good old-fashioned killing too. You see, this Immortal build did a Tempered Arkveld, with me playing deliberately sloppily and deliberately taking hits to prove the point that it's immortal in around 7 minutes. Which is really quite respectable, I think you can agree. Now obviously, Wilds monsters aren't the most challenging even at Ultra Endgame, but there is something so simply sweetly satisfying about never having to stop attacking for any reason whatsoever, because the monster literally cannot kill you as you kill it. And that's something that I always take such pride in bringing you guys, and seeing how many comments excited for this, looking forward to the first Wilds Immortal build. I mean, you guys have really made my week, you really have. So, without further ado then, let's kind of get into this with what we're doing for the first form of Wilds Immortality, because it's actually quite an interesting one. In fact, I'll be bringing you 2 different versions of an Immortal build here, because there's 2 distinct paths to go, and I really cannot decide between them. They're both incredibly potent, but I think which one is used is going to come down to personal preference. So Wilds currently doesn't have any way for us to just passively heal, like Valhazark recovery for example. This makes it a trickier puzzle to solve, but Base Rise didn't have that going for it either, but it still was solved there. One of the greatest advantages we have is actually the palico. While we can't specifically choose a healing palico or set a healing gadget, it doesn't matter because it's got every gadget, including heals, and it will incredibly frequently bomb you with a Vigor Wasp, which, added to recovery up to make it even more potent, is just regular what feels like max potions. So that gives us a great base to work with. Past that then, we have to take as little damage as possible from every attack.
You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Which yes, I know sounds obvious, but in Wilds you can actually do that incredibly effectively, as you've been seeing with how pathetic Arkveld's hits can be. We've got the usual Divine Blessing, you've got some food skills that can help, you've got recovery speed to make that red health regenerate faster so we have more effective health quicker, and so on and so forth. But actual raw defense is really quite tasty. So this here is me with just over around 300 defense in a normal meta set, and I get smacked by the training cart. Then I swap to the Immortal build, which is currently sat at 480 defense, and you probably can't see the difference that well. Actually, it's a tiny health bar in the corner of the screen, but if we zoom and enhance, you can see more of a difference. But if we want actual numbers, well, we just need to do something like count pixels. But I mean, who's gonna sit here and count pixels on a health bar to work out increased defense percentage damage reduction, you know? I'm going to do that. And the result is a near exact 30% damage reduction from the raw defense in the Immortal build, which adds up a lot over time, combined with the healing and other forms of mitigation we're baking in. But the thing is, my Immortal set isn't actually fully upgraded raw armor-wise yet, which you do want to do, make sure every piece is maxed out on armor spheres, but 2 of mine aren't. So I'll actually end up about over 500 defense. So this difference will get even more stark. But ignoring defense for a while, as perhaps heretical of a statement that is in an Immortal build, I do want to give a shout out to how offensively potent this still is. Despite being an Immortal build, I'm still going to end up with 5 ranks of weakness exploit. We're still going to have 2 flayer, which in its current bug state is actually the optimum amount of flayer to have, which is really fun to work with, including wounds. We're still going to have space for things like maximum might if you're a weapon that can use it. And yes, this really does work on every weapon. You can tailor some free slots to your weapon, but the same base set applies to all. That's something I always try to do with the Immortal builds, make it for everyone. So I'm not just like, yeah, put on a lance and hold block with maximum guard and guard up, because, you know, that's lame. You want to be AFK Immortal. In any case, you really do hit fairly hard, as the kill times are showing, compared to average normal sets kill times. So with that said, I actually think this is the most powerful all-round Immortal build there's ever been, at least early on in a Monster Hunter game's cycle, and that's really exciting. And lastly then, when we're actively piloting this and hunting the monsters and not just standing there getting beaten up for the funsies, you can interact with both Arkveld set bonuses at once. We will be healing from hitting the monster, and it's not really like a huge heal, but coupled with how tanky we are, it really adds up over time. With Greatsword, for example, you heal every 5 hits, other weapons vary, but the heal is always consistent. It's like 5% or so of your health, multiplied up by your other skills. And then we've also got 2 sets of Guardian Arkveld to get a big chunk of healing when we pop wounds, and we're creating a lot of wounds because of Flayer, and the fact we're constantly attacking because we don't need to think about defense or healing because we're Immortal. So it actually loops into itself really, really well. Not to mention you do have a free +1 life because our cat also gets inbuilt Vigor Wasp Revival just for fun, so you really can play with reckless abandon. So with this all in mind then, we end up with a set that comes inbuilt with ridiculous amount of damage reduction, an absurd amount of healing from multiple sources all happening as you do things automatically, and a really healthy amount of damage, making it just a beautiful all-round package to make yourself a walking god amongst the game's current roster. So without further ado then, let's get into what we're actually using, starting with the weapon, where you have 2 main options. The first being Artians, or at least I should more accurately say whatever weapon is normally best for your weapon's meta build. For me and most of us that is Artian, so just whack on your Artian with the Immortal set and you will be fine. I still don't have a perfect roll, I need 2 more attacks instead of 1 sharpness in the element, but this is what I'm using because it's my current best Artian. However, if you really want to commit to the theme, and I respect the hell out of that, well, go to your weapon tree and sort by defense, see what options you've got available. So for me, it would be normal Dashagama's greatsword with the plus 20 defense it gives, which isn't nothing and does add a couple more % damage reduction. So technically speaking, this is your optimum immortal weapon, but it's just not worth the damage downgrade when you're already completely unkillable without it, but it is worth mentioning. Big hello then to everyone who just immediately skipped to this part of the video to see the build without all of the lovely testing and explaining I did. That's fine. That's completely fine. For everyone else that got here the normal way, thank you. No, I joke. I don't mind what you guys do. I just want you to enjoy this awesome build of unkillableness. It's just so much fun. In any case, this is what we're doing. We want a Guardian Arkveld helmet, normal Arkveld chest, Guardian gloves, specifically Suja sash, and your normal Arkveld legs. All beta except the Suja sash, which only has one option anyway. So the reason for this is kind of triple-fold. Number one, Arkveld pieces have the highest defense in the game, which is naturally a really good fit to pumping our defense as much as possible to be as hard to kill as possible. Number two, they come with two main perks. Well, technically three. Good raw skills on them, as you can see what we already have to work with, the Wex and the Flayer being very nice, but they also give us both set bonuses. Arkveld's Hunger, so we heal when we attack as we went over, and then Guardian Arkveld's Vitality, so we heal when we do a focus strike and pop a wound. But they also then have really good decoration space and slot economy. What we want most of all for Immortal builds is a lot of one slots, because a lot of the important skills are one slot decorations, so we actually have a nice amount to work with. Past that, then, you want yourself the Defense Talisman. The reason you want that is having max level 7 defense is very important for Immortality, and the Talisman gives you 4 ranks. Now, the only way to get defense, because there's no defense naturally on any of the armor, as weird as that is with a defense decoration. So you either have the Talisman for 4 ranks and then slot 3 of them, or you have to find 7 slots across your armor for defense, which is really constrictive. So the maxed value of skills here is to get your defense charm on. Other than that, let's decorate this up. And if you are wondering where to get the Suja sash from, if you've not unlocked it, you want to go to your natter after you've unlocked all of your item traders, and you will eventually be offered a trade for the Suja textiles, which will unlock it. Sadly, I don't have it available currently here, but it will be one trade like this, but instead of sealed cotton, it will be Suja textiles, and then you can grab it and unlock the armor set. Also, when it comes to mantle choice, you want Rocksteady ideally as the companion to this, as it lets you just ignore the monster for its full duration and then just hit it repeatedly while it literally can't kill you, but you're also completely fine to use Corrupted and use the tankiness to get the damage easily, and the health drain at the start is completely negated. That's your main options. Mending Mantle will come up, as you might imagine the obvious kind of choice for this sort of thing, but it will be in the alternate set that I'll talk about in a moment. In any case, we are now fully decorated up, and this is what we end up with. Full defense, so we finish off weakness exploit. The reason we do that is because having a bit of damage, is important to still kill stuff while it can't kill you, but also there's nothing else really worth putting in these free slots to support the Immortality theme. We also don't need anything else because we're already immortal with what we've got, so hey, damage is damage. Then we have ourselves full Divine Blessing that we got from the Suja Waste, which is why it's so nice here on top of its decoration slots. We've got full recovery up. The 2 bits of Flayer, rank 2 is optimum, but even if the skill was fixed, at most we could only have 2 ranks, so we would take this anyway, and then we just put in a single recovery, as that's the only thing we have space for in the final 1-1 slot. Then you have 2-2 slots that you can put anything you like in. Me on Greatsword, maximum might make sense, because it's good, reliable variable affinity, but whatever your weapon needs or whatever you want in these 2 slots, well, put them in. Technically, if you want to go full immortal again, well, then you want to finish recovery in these 2 slots, but that of course feels like a little bit of a waste when it's not strictly needed. And then in your weapon, if you're doing it great swordily, you want focus, and then we get a little bit more crit from crit eye because we don't have enough base crit to just go full crit boost, and then we do go a little bit crit boost, but whatever you put in your weapon is your usual best weapon offensive skills that you use on your normal regular sets. There's no weapon skills that really help out the theme of what we're doing here. So to really highlight it then, defense 7 is so potent for that raw just plus 10% to our defense, and then an extra 35 defense on top of the all res. It really makes a colossal difference and forms the backbone. Then you've got Divine Blessing for the 50% damage reduction, and it happens, I would say, about 1 in every 3 attacks, so it really adds up. Then you have Recovery Up, which just makes you take massively more healing from every source of healing, including the Arkveld set bonus. These are the 3 sort of pillars, the triumvirate of immortality, so having them maxed along with everything else is really good to begin with. And then recovery speed is phenomenal too, as it just eats up your red health, making it proper health again before the monster can hit you a second time, but we just don't really have efficient space for it, but that will change as we get more and better armor throughout title updates from other monsters that get added and such. In any case, that is kind of where we're at when it comes to your regular, I just want to fight and kill things while being impossible to kill immortality. But now we get to the secondary option, being this. We still use the defense talisman, but now we have both regular Arkveld helm and chest for the heal on hit. We keep the Suja sash, but we swap in to set Duna. The reason we do that is to gain a load of 1 slots, which is really nice. Every piece of armor except the chest has 3 slots worth of skills for us to work with, which, as we say, is great for immortality, but it also lets us play in 2 mantles. See, Mending Mantle gives you constant trickle heals, it gives you burst healing, it's just so much healing. So if we have full Duna 2 set here, we can easily get level 5 Tool Specialist, which gives us a colossal 50% cooldown reduction on your mantle, and while wearing your mantle from your Duna 2 set, you get increased defense, so this works really lovely to give you a sturdy, frequent Mending Mantle, which is another really good form of you can't kill me-ness. And if you don't want to play into the mantle side of things, then you just replace 2 maintenance jewels with the rest of recovery speed, and we go into even more healing, which again is really nice. The thing is, this does a lot less damage than the other one, but is about as immortal. The edge that this way round has is this is the set that I would call best for AFK immortality. If you're not actively fighting, you just want the mean dream fun of standing there not doing anything while the monster can't kill you. Put on your mantle and just exist and enjoy the results. So while I would recommend the initial set, which is why that's what I've presented, this one is certainly fun too, and it's worth looking into. The 4th set of Duna is really potent too defensively, but it just can't compete with getting the raw defense and the healing of your Arkvulcan. A couple more things then. Firstly, I want to talk items. Make sure you've got your armor charm in your inventory from the double Hirabami arena side mission. Make sure you've got hard shell powder, a mega armor skin, and a adamant seed. These will all stack and give you a huge boost of defense that will really push you over the top towards 550 with everything upgraded, which is approaching like a 40% damage reduction, which is just obscene. Past that then, food. The ideal meal for immortality here then is to go with veggies for more defense and elemental resist. Then you want to have sharp kunafa cheese for defender high, which is essentially a second full divine blessing, so the consistency of getting everything reduced is really well consistent. And then lastly, you want medic meal, so you get even more health back from all of your things that heal you, as well as even more elemental resist, which is really nice to have. And that then, ladies and and gentlemen, is it. Your min-max currently best way to never die immortal build for wilds. I think it's a really, really good start. And just generally playing it, yeah, just play normally. Use your weapon upon monster, you can be reckless, doesn't matter if you get hit, just attack, aggressively attack, and enjoy the results. In any case, yeah, as I was saying, really, really love this as a base, and I cannot wait to go on that journey again of watching this evolve and evolve and evolve over the course of Wilds as the new monsters get added and armor sets get shaken up until we are once again standing AFK unkillable against whatever the final and hardest challenge will be in the final title update. I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope you have fun with it. Like, if you have, well, enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.